Have you ever heard the saying that the world is big and there to be explored? Well, it's not always like that. As much as we have airplanes, the internet, and even space travel, there are still places that are completely closed to us poor mortals. You know those corners surrounded by mysteries, conspiracy theories, or, in some cases, real and imminent danger. There are destinations on the map where the only way to enter is with a top-secret badge, government invitation, or simply by taking an absurd risk to your life. These are forbidden places, guarded under lock and key, either by the government, by nature, or even by the inhabitants themselves. Do you want to know what these places are? Then stick with us because this list ranges from deadly monkeys to alien bases, underground vaults, and islands that no one dares to set foot on. Today, Bello Mundo takes you to see some of the most forbidden and dangerous places on the planet. Number 1. Snake Island. If there's one place that deserves the title of Forbidden Territory, it's Ilha de Queimada Grande, better known as Brazil's Ilha das Cobras. Located about 35 kilometers off the coast of São Paulo, this island is a real nightmare for anyone who is afraid of snakes. The reason? A surreal number of snakes scattered everywhere, and we're not talking about just any snake, but the Jararaca ilhoa, one of the most poisonous snakes in the world. Just to give you an idea, in some areas of the island it is estimated that there is one snake per square meter, so even if you want to go sightseeing, you should think twice, 3 times, 10 times. The Brazilian Navy has even banned unauthorized landings, and the only people who set foot there are researchers studying the snakes, accompanied by safety equipment and, on some occasions, even doctors on standby. Can you imagine? If it gives you the creeps to think about snakes in the garden, imagine a place infested with them. The curious thing is that many people are shocked to think that the island is a piece of hell on Earth. But from a scientific point of view, the place is a paradise of biodiversity and research. The region's snakes have unique characteristics adapted to island life. And since they have no natural predators, they have multiplied unceremoniously. And of course, the place also has its legends. It is said that, in the past, a lighthouse keeper and his family were attacked by snakes, and no one wanted to live there after that. Truth or exaggeration? We'll never know for sure. But one thing is certain. This is one of the most inhospitable places on the planet, and any idea of extreme tourism can turn into tragedy in a matter of seconds. Want more snake? We've got it. If you thought that only Brazil had a snake island, get ready. China also has a version, and this place is in the province of Liaoning, in northeastern China. As in the Brazilian case, the area is home to an extremely poisonous species of snake. The best known there is the so-called island pit viper, and the fame of the place is not at all welcoming. Access to the site is severely restricted by the Chinese government, both to protect visitors from attacks and to preserve the snakes, which, ironically, are threatened with extinction. That's right, as strange as it sounds, the real danger there is not humans, but the very survival of the snakes. Want to see more details about these 2 deadly places? We've made a full video on the subject here at Bello Mundo. If you haven't watched it yet, here's the tip. Snake Island. Is it possible to get out of the world's most dangerous place alive? Number 2. Island of the Deadly Apes, Morgan Island, United States. If you thought snakes were reason enough to stay away, wait until you see Morgan Island in South Carolina. Unlike Snake Island, the problem here isn't poisonous reptiles, but monkeys infected with a deadly virus. Known as Deadly Monkey Island, this isolated piece of land is home to thousands of rhesus monkeys who live there without contact with human beings. But make no mistake, they are not there by chance. They all carry an invisible threat, the herpes B virus. The story of this bizarre place began in the 70s when a wave of herpes B hit the monkey population at the Caribbean Primate Research Center in Puerto Rico. To avoid a greater biological disaster, hundreds of these primates were transferred to this uninhabited island off the coast of the United States, and since then they have multiplied freely. The worrying detail is that, while the virus is relatively harmless to monkeys, it can be lethal to humans. If not treated in time, it can cause serious inflammation of the nervous system, leading to death. For this reason, Morgan Island is forbidden territory. No tourist is allowed to set foot there. Access is limited to scientists and researchers only, and even then, with extreme security protocols. The few who enter must wear protective clothing, undergo medical examinations, and avoid any direct contact with the primates. Number 3. Megori Russia. Enough about dangerous animals. Now let's talk about something even more intriguing: military secrets and government paranoia. And few places in the world carry as much mystery as Megori, a Russian city hidden in the Ural Mountains. Officially, it is a closed place, which means that no one enters without government permission. No one knows for sure why, but there are many theories. Some say that Megori is home to a gigantic underground military complex operated directly by the Russian Ministry of Defense. It is speculated that there are nuclear missile silos there, ready for a lightning counterattack. Others believe that the site serves as a bunker for the Russian elite in the event of an apocalypse, with stocks of supplies, its own power, and even ventilation systems to survive any global disaster. And what is the official explanation? The Russian government has already stated that there are only mining and environmental conservation projects there. Yes, of course, because a city surrounded by the military and heavily guarded is super common to protect trees and rocks. Be that as it may, Megori is inaccessible to the average citizen. You can't just hop on a train, buy a ticket, and go there. The entrance to the city is guarded by military forces, roads are blocked, and the few residents need special permits to get around. Incidentally, it's nothing new for Russia to have secret cities. During the Soviet Union, several locations were kept off the official maps. But what sets Megori apart is that it is still active today. Try asking a Russian about the place and see if they answer, or just change the subject. Number 4. Moscow's secret subway. Still on the subject of Russian mysteries, let's go underground, deep underground. Moscow is said to have a second metro, a parallel system of tunnels that connects the Kremlin, secret military bases, FSB facilities, and underground bunkers. Called Metro 2, or simply D6, this supposedly hidden transport was built during Stalin's time as an escape system for the government's top brass. And if you're thinking, okay, but that was the Cold War, right? It's probably abandoned by now, you might want to think again. Reports indicate that this secret subway is still in operation. It is rumored to be 300 meters deep, much shallower than the normal Moscow metro lines, which are known to be extremely deep. The Russian government completely denies the existence of this system, but every now and then, stories emerge of workers claiming to have worked on these secret construction sites, or of documents suggesting the existence of the tunnels. In any case, it's no use trying to find a Metro 2 station. There are no maps, no entrance visible to the public, and any attempt to explore would be stopped immediately by security agents. The more paranoid believe that this underground system could be Russia's last line of defense in the event of a nuclear war, serving as an escape route for the authorities to reach highly protected bunkers, real or not. No one apart from Kremlin bigwigs can confirm it. But if there's one thing this whole mystery proves, it's that when it comes to hiding things, Russia knows how to do it right. Number 5. Area 51, United States. When it comes to secret places, you can't ignore Area 51. Located in the middle of the Nevada desert, this United States Air Force base has always been surrounded by theories. The government says it's just a top-secret military test center. But for conspiracy fans, the story is different. Alien spaceships, reverse engineering of extraterrestrial technology, and ultra-technological experiments are just some of the hypotheses. The base was so secret that, for decades, the government wouldn't even admit its existence. It was only after many leaks and speculations that official confirmation came, but with a half-hearted explanation, testing spy planes and weapons. In any case, trying to get close is not a good idea. The site is monitored by sensors, cameras, and military patrols. Anyone who crosses the line can be detained, fined, and prosecuted. In other words, the government's secrets are closely guarded. Number 6. Mount Weather, United States. Now, if Area 51 is the talk of the town, there's another place that's even more discreet and just as scary: Mount Weather. This underground complex, hidden in Virginia, is an emergency center for the United States government. In the event of a natural disaster, nuclear war, or any national catastrophe, this is where the bigwigs of American politics rush to. The most bizarre thing: nobody knew about the existence of this bunker until 1974, when an airplane crashed near the site and journalists began to raise questions. Before that, Mount Weather was an absolute secret. Trying to approach it is unthinkable. The site is protected by heavily armed guards, high walls, and sharp fences. Without permission, don't even think about going there. In fact, don't even try to ask too many questions, because this is the kind of secret the government would rather you forget. Number 7. Javari Valley, Brazil. Now we're leaving the secret bunkers and guarded deserts for one of the most inaccessible and dangerous places on the planet. And for that, we're going back to Brazil to visit the Javari Valley. Located in the far west of the Amazon, it is one of the largest indigenous lands in the country and is home to several tribes who live in isolation from modern civilization. But don't think that it's forbidden to enter because of a state secret or hidden weapons. The reason is different: preservation and survival. Many of the tribes who live here have never had contact with the outside world, and the presence of outsiders can pose a deadly risk. Simple diseases such as flu, measles, or chickenpox, which are trivial to us, can decimate entire populations who have no immunity to these viruses. Curious tourists don't enter at all, and those who try to circumvent the rules can end up causing health tragedies or even triggering conflicts. In other words, it pays to be respectful. Number 8. Fort Knox, United States. If there's a synonym for maximum security, it's Fort Knox. You've probably heard someone say in movies and TV shows that something is more protected than Fort Knox, and that's no exaggeration. Located in Kentucky, this complex holds a large part of the United States gold reserves and, according to rumors, also hides historical artifacts and top-secret documents. But is it all true? Well, no one knows for sure because no one goes in there without permission. Not even the President of the United States can just wander around. The vault has granite walls reinforced with steel, electric fences, motion sensors, heavily armed guards, and a level of security that borders on the absurd. And of course, where there is mystery, there are theories. Some believe that the site holds not only gold, but also historical relics, such as secret manuscripts and even the Gutenberg Bible. Others say that the gold has long since been removed, and that Fort Knox is just a facade to keep people distracted. The truth? Well, only those with a free pass know. But one thing's for sure, if there's one place where no one can break in and get away with it, it's Fort Knox. Number 9. North Sentinel Island, India. No government works or gold vaults this time. North Sentinel Island is forbidden for the sheer sake of survival, both for the local tribe and any visitors. Located in the Bay of Bengal, this island is home to the Sentinelese, a people who have lived in isolation from the rest of the world for literally thousands of years. They reject any attempt at contact and defend their territory with bows and arrows. The Indian government, which administers the archipelago, has decided to ban strangers from coming within a few kilometers of the island. Firstly, to prevent the Sentinelese from being decimated by diseases common to us. Secondly, to protect those who try to get close, since the natives are extremely hostile. And hostile is not an exaggeration. Any boat that pulls up there is usually shot or, worse, not shot at all. The island made world headlines in 2018 when an American missionary tried to sneak in to evangelize the people and ended up dead. Number 10. Secret Vatican Archives, Vatican City. Leaving the untouched forests and heading straight for the heart of the Catholic Church, we arrive at the Vatican's secret archives, which, in fact, are now called the Vatican Apostolic Archives. This place houses historical church documents, papal letters, and treaties, which, according to theories, could completely change our view of the past. And why so much mystery? Well, the Church says it's not a secret, just a restriction. Researchers can even access some documents, but the process is rigorous. First, you need to have specific credentials. Then you have to request an analysis of a specific document, and even then, you can only consult what is not on the list of forbidden writings. The question is, what else could be stored there? Theories suggest that the Vatican is hiding manuscripts about extraterrestrial contact, texts that challenge religious dogma, and even documents that reveal never-before-revealed events in human history. The Church, of course, denies everything. The fact is that most people will never know what is really locked inside. If you dream of finding out on your own, forget it. Without a very high position in the ecclesiastical hierarchy, it will never happen. Number 11. Emperor Qin's Tomb, China. Time to go back to China, but now to the distant past. The tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the same one from the famous Terracotta Army, is one of the most incredible archaeological sites in the world, and at the same time, one of the most inaccessible. You can even visit the complex where the sculptures of the terracotta warriors are on display, but the emperor's mausoleum has been sealed up since the year 2200 BC. Why is that? Some say that the Chinese government doesn't want to risk damaging something so precious. Others believe that there are gases and chemical substances that could destroy the pieces if the tomb were opened the wrong way. There are also those who speak of a curse. The only certainty is that no one will touch this tomb until there is technology to guarantee its complete preservation. And it makes sense. The Terracotta Army, discovered in 1974, has already required an immense amount of work from archaeologists. Now imagine what could be hidden inside the main mausoleum. Whatever it is, it's been guarded for over 2,000 years and will remain so for a long time to come. Number 12. Svalbard Global Seed Vault, Norway. To close this list, a place that has nothing to do with military secrets, isolated tribes, or hidden gold, but is still one of the most inaccessible places on the planet. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault, also known as the Doomsday Vault. Located in the Norwegian Arctic, this vault was built to protect the planet's agricultural biodiversity. Inside, thousands of seed samples from all over the world are stored, an essential reserve in case of natural disasters, wars, or global crises. The structure is designed to withstand earthquakes, climate change, and even explosions, but that's why it's not open to visitors. Only scientists and representatives of seed banks can enter, and access is highly restricted. If it all goes wrong one day, at least we know that the Svalbard Vault could be our last hope for rebuilding world agriculture. Until then, it remains untouched and inaccessible to anyone without a very special badge. So, what do you think of these places that seem to have come out of a fictional book but are very real? We want to know what you think. What impressed you the most? Leave your comment below and let's continue this conversation. If you liked this content, you already know. Leave a like, subscribe here on Bello Mundo, and activate the bell so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you for being with us until the end. See you next time. See you there.